Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? Episode number 414, Drink Until You podcast, the only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. I am drinking tonight my White Claw Black Cherry with a little bit of the cherry flavoring in there. Let's go ahead and have our first drink. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. This is actually my third White Claw of the evening. So feeling pretty good. It's just so weird, dude. It's like 1 week I'm like 100 proof rum over ice, just sipping on that as I do the episode. And then the next week I'm like, Shirley Temple, please. Spiked Shirley Temple, please. I don't know. I can't follow it. I only think this works for me. Like kind of the sweetness of the, like the cherry that I put in there. I only think it works for me because it's not actual sugar. Like God knows, when I worked in a Mexican restaurant, dude, I had my fair share of margaritas. I mean, I probably, like if there were a quota for drinking sweet and sour in one's life, I would have met that like easily in my first couple of years of drinking. You know what I mean? Like margaritas are easy, simple. They taste good. I mean, fuck, what do you need? Tequila? I mean, come on. Gets the job done. But that sweet and sour, dude, that's one of the worst, like, hangovers / like getting sick the same night. Like when you've sugared or you drink sugary drinks all night, that hangover, that room spinning, oh my God, it's just like a whole other level. I mean, your body's probably like fucking close to shutting down. You know what I mean? Like, you drink, it doesn't know what to do. You've drank so much alcohol tonight, and also on top of it, drank so much sugar. And probably on top of it, like, stuffed your face with nachos or something. Like, your body is like, what the fuck? It doesn't know what to do. But this works better for me, man. Like, I do like it. It's not, I can taste the sweetness, but it's not like spiking my blood sugar or whatever. I guess the only problem is it's like aspartame, probably, more than likely. You know, and that's, who knows with that shit. It's how you grow like a third nipple. Or a fourth nipple if you drink a lot of it. Or like a fucking arm out of your head. Who knows? I don't think there's any studies showing what this shit does long term. But anyways, that's what I'm drinking, a small dose of it. Sitting here watching this Chicago Penguins game. What's his name? Soderblom, the Blackhawks goalie, not doing so well tonight. They're down 4-0 in the first period, and Soderblom's still in there, at least at the end of the period, even though he gave my Stars fits last night. Like, honestly, like he was tough. He was really tough last night for my team, so we lose that one in overtime, unfortunately. Mikko Rantanen with the weirdest, like, lack of focus moment you'll probably ever see from him on the shootout, on his shootout attempt. He didn't even shoot a puck, dude. Like, it slipped away from him. And he just, like, skated back to the bench like, fuck. That rarely happens. So, yeah, there's one less shot Soderblom had to face. And they end up getting that victory. The Hawks do. Last night. So now playing back-to-backs. They're playing the Penguins, and they're not doing so hot. And Soderblom's still in there. I just say leave him in there. He had a great game last night. You can't take that away from him. And, yeah, I mean, is it really going to do anything to his psyche if they beat him 6-0 or 6-1? If they score 2 or 3 more goals, you just call it a bad night. I just had a bad night. Big deal. And that'll get your other goalie rest so he can play the next game. I mean, they're playing him on back-to-back nights. Wouldn't it have been smart? I know what my coach would have done. I know what Golitzin would have done. He would have gone Ottinger one night and then DeSmith the next night. So I don't know. I guess they just kind of figured he was a hot hand, and the Penguins come in and just show him no, he's not. What else? Yeah, dude, I've just been soaking up the NHL since it's been back after Christmas. Dude, that Vegas Golden Knights game versus the Avalanche last night, dude, what a freaking roller coaster, dude. Vegas should be pissed about that. Nothing like happened to make them lose the game other than the fact that the Avalanche are just ridiculous, dude. Like, they don't give up. They're not going to stop. Usually that goal, I mean, when Vegas scored to make it 5-4, like late in the third, that's usually the backbreaker for most teams. That's usually like, fuck, all right, we're probably not going to win this one tonight, but not for Colorado, dude. Like, they're like, fuck, and they come back like a minute later, less than a minute later, and score the goal to tie the game. I mean, it was just bang, bang. So, yeah, that was an awesome game. Who came out on top in that one? Not Vegas. Because the Avs only have 2 regulation losses in the entire season so far this season, which is incredible. The only way I think that helps my Stars is if you've been watching, there's Bertuzzi, dude. He is having a hell of a game tonight, too, even though they're losing 4-0 for the Blackhawks. There's Dickinson. He knew exactly where to shoot on Oettinger. Anyway, that's the thing about winning the President's Trophy. We all know that. If you've been watching the NHL for any amount of time, usually the President's Trophy winner does not go on to win the cup. I mean, I bet it's less than 5 times that's ever happened. I bet it's less than 3 times that's ever happened. I'm sure there's been some teams who were just badass all season, badass through the playoffs. You can't beat them. They win the Stanley Cup, but I don't think it's very... What was that season with Jim Montgomery and the Boston Bruins, dude? They had a just spectacular... This is maybe 2-3 seasons ago. They just had a spectacular season, dude. Like, they weren't... Nobody could touch them. Nobody in the standings could touch them. Like, they were just too far ahead. They stayed too far ahead. You expected them to, like, dip at some point in the season. They just never did. And then, yeah, they get to the playoffs and they get bounced in the first round. That President's Trophy doesn't mean shit. It almost is like a curse in the way of, like, you expended all your energy over these 82 games in the regular season. Now you're in the playoffs for more games and you don't have the energy. It's almost like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a curse in a way. I'm not saying it's not prestigious. I'm not saying you wouldn't be happy to win it. Of course you would. But it just seems like a curse. I don't know, man. What else did we watch? Toronto. Stars 5, Toronto 1. This is probably going back 6 days. Yeah, the Oilers versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Oilers win that one. They hang on, dude. Vegas was on their way back. They were fighting hard. Here's a cool story, man. I hadn't been paying attention, I guess, to the rest of the teams in the Atlantic Division. As you guys know, I made a list earlier this season, before the season started, on Twitter of, like, kind of who I'm watching, who I'm rooting for. The Flyers being one of those teams, the Jets being one of those teams. I'm trying to think of who else. Did I say the Flyers already? Just obviously my Stars. Yeah, I'm always going to root for my Stars. But Buffalo was one of those teams too. And that's mainly because I work with someone who's like a huge, like, Buffalo Bills fan. And we've been talking kind of, hockey a little bit. She doesn't know much about hockey. She knows a little bit. But she's more of the football, like Buffalo Bills all the way. So when I see her and I'm like, hey, have a good weekend, whatever. She's like, all right, have a great weekend, Chris, and go Bills. I'm like, I won't say that. I will never say that to you. I'll never say go Bills. That's just not in my vocabulary. Didn't you just say it? Shut up. I said it to present a point. I'll never say go Bills and mean it. But I will say go Sabres. And I have been watching the Sabres all season long. And I will tell you this, dude. I kind of ragged on them a couple of weeks ago. So I'm like, every time I watch a Sabres game, they win. They do really well. And then you go and look at the standings and they're like last place in their division. And you're like, oh, dude, this sucks. Like that, they're just, no matter how good they do, it just feels like they can never get out of it. Well, looking at the Atlantic Division standings as of last night, and the Sabres did get a huge win last night. Who was that against? Let me find it here. The Sabres versus... Well, Chris, it would be nice if you wrote down who they fucking played. Oh, the Bruins, that's right. Sabres versus the Bruins, first game back after the break, the Christmas break. And the Sabres win that game. They don't look good in the first period, I'm going to be honest. And then they just start scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring. I think the final to that was 4-1, 5-1, 4-1. And, so I started looking at the standings, and, dude, they're only 5 points out of first place. I kid you not. The Buffalo Sabres are 5 points out of first place. I had no idea their division was that, close. You just see last place, and you just automatically assume, they're 100 points out. You know what I mean? And that's what I've been seeing all season, but, looking into it last night, I was like, holy shit, dude. And on top of that, last night was their eighth win in their 8-game winning streak. So not only are they streaking, I mean, dude, they're right there. This team, if Ruff can keep the magic up, keep motivating these guys, keep showing them the way. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Ruff and his old school, his old style of hockey, and it doesn't fit the NHL anymore, blah, blah. That dude has experience. There's certain things, you can be as talented as you want, but until you have the experience, you don't know it. You know what I mean? You don't know what might happen or what could come. Or, what the coach on the other bench is thinking. You know what I mean? Just that experience is so huge. So I'm really, of course, go Flyers. I actually need to turn off this Blackhawks game and switch it over to something more competitive. I don't think the Hawks got it tonight. I'm just being honest. It could turn into a good game. You don't know. They're still out there trying. But, I know the Flyers are playing tonight. The Kraken. Which is weird to me. The Kraken just... Still in my mind, it's like I have to remind myself they're an NHL team. You know what I mean? I almost said Utah Jazz. The Utah Mammoth, they just kind of slid right in with the organization and without a hiccup. But for me, I don't know what it is about the Kraken. I just every time I see them on the schedule, I'm like, oh yeah, that's another team. Even though we lost some good players when, the Kraken started their team. We had to give up a couple. I think Alexiak being one of those, which was one of those big D-man bruiser guys that I've been wanting for a long time. But he's not Bichel. He doesn't have the same attitude as Bichel. You know what I mean? He's big, he's tough, but it always seemed like to me Alexiak was more annoyed with the other players than anything. And it's you don't want that. You don't want him to be annoyed. If you're irritated and in your head about it, you're going to get taken off your game. You know what I mean? I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying from a spectator's point of view, it always just seemed like he was annoyed by any and every other hockey player on the ice. Dude, do you want to be here? He's dude, how, there's players out there like that too. that are just like, I don't even like hockey. I'm just good at it and it pays the bills. And like, here I am. I'm a big body. Like, that's got to be such a weird thing. More weird than like doing that at a regular like 9 to 5 job. You know what I mean? Like, just for the fact that it's like it gets national coverage. It's on TV. It's like you get to watch him hate his job on national TV. I don't know if he hates it. I'm just making all of this up, but I don't know if Alexiak hates hockey. It just always seemed that way to me. You know, like you kind of get your feelings from certain players. But anyways, so yeah, really rooting for Buffalo, dude. Like, I think, I'm not even saying make it past the first round. If you do, I mean, yeah, you're ecstatic. But just to make it to the playoffs would be really good for their organization. You know what I mean? And I want that for Ruff, too. Like, the dude has paid his fucking dues, man. Like, how many times is he going to go back to Buffalo and they suck? You know what I mean? Like, he's getting paid, I get it, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, Vasilevsky coming up huge last night against the Florida Panthers. The Battle of Florida, Tampa Bay versus the Florida Panthers. Tampa Bay comes out on top of that one. Oh yeah, in that Avs game, dude, it was kind of funny. You just learn a lot about players just from watching them more. And this season, dude, I've definitely made it a point to be more well-rounded than any years before as far as hockey goes. But Makar, like, you know, if you shoot the puck out of play in the defensive zone, it's a penalty on the guy who shot out of play, right? Well, Makar accidentally kind of like flutters it up, and it's about to go over, the glass into the crowd. And it's such a soft, like, knuckleball floater puck that he has a chance to, like, chase it down over to the boards and, like, almost lift his stick and, like, catch it and knock it back into play before it goes, out of play and he gets the penalty. Well, he misses the puck. They call the penalty. He skates directly to the box. But it was just so cool that, like, he tried to do that to, like, save himself the penalty. Like, 100%, they totally would have... If he would have hit the puck and it came back into play, they would have called it a high stick. They would have had to do a face-off, but that's not a penalty. You know what I mean? Like, he just would have played it with a high stick. They don't put you in the box for that. So it's kind of a cool, like, unique play that he barely missed. It was just like that flutter puck got him, and it got past his stick and went into the crowd, and he just... Even the announcer's like, he didn't even argue. He just skated straight to the box because he knew, like it was over. He tried, he didn't get it back, and go sit your timeout now. So yeah, Avs come back on that one. That's fucking great, dude. That was such a great game. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the hockeys. It's going to take me a little while to ramp up on the basketball again, dude. It's like I just got going watching a couple of games of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's like they went on a break. It's just going to take me a while to get back into, that whole thing. Just get on a game to game. And then UFC's coming back, which is going to make it even harder. Like, that's less NBA I'm definitely going to watch. So, super excited for that, dude. 2026, going to be a huge year for fights, a huge year for, just everything that I love. Let's go ahead and have another drink. Cheers, everybody. All right. What else? Oh, yeah. I got to tell you guys about this movie. I just kind of clicked on it randomly. And it's got Bryan Cranston in it, which is the reason I clicked on it in the first place. But it's called Larry and Marge Go Large. And it's based on a true story of a married couple that basically Bryan Cranston's character figures out, like, he's a numbers guy. He's retiring. He's worked at his job for however many years. It's time for him to retire, time for him and his wife to spend some time together. This is what they've been looking forward to for so many years, as a lot of older people do, like you get the kid, you raise the kids, you get them to college, now the husband retires. We're going to have all this time to do all this fun extra stuff now. Like, it's going to be great. But it turns out that they're really just kind of bored. You know what I mean? She's like, I thought it was going to be better than this. I thought we were going to be, doing more stuff. I wanted adventure and all this and that. And basically, like, Bryan Cranston's character is like really good with numbers. That's kind of what he was so great at his job that he's now retiring from. So they find this lottery game. I think it was called Windfall when it was out. And he basically like learns or like kind of works it out in his head with all the numbers and everything. He basically works it out. If you bet a certain amount at a certain time, it is timed, I guess, when the windfall comes, then he's like, I think his first time he did it, he won like $15,000. Like, don't get me wrong, he had to put in a good chunk of money, and this is like his and his wife's savings that he's not really telling her that, hey, honey, I'm taking about $8,000 out of he's not telling her this stuff because he's kind of ashamed that he's doing it, and doesn't know if she'll approve or not. So yeah, like I said, he wins like $15,000 on his first like time doing it. And the biggest thing is he's calculated that each time you do it, the more money you put into it, it's like a guaranteed win, and that jackpot for you is going to grow. So like first time 15,000, the second time 30,000, the third time 50,000, so it's like keeps growing and growing. Well, obviously, like he can't keep the secret from his wife forever. She finds out and she's hooked. Like instantaneously hooked. She's like, this is what I've been like, the adventure I've been wanting, something for us to bond over. She's like, it feels like robbing a bank without robbing the bank, because they're just like a guaranteed win. He kind of explains the system to her and everything. Dude, it was such a great, like, cute movie. I really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it that much. I knew just from the story alone, like, I think that's kind of cool, like how he's, fucking with the numbers to come out with the outcome that he wants. You know what I mean? Like, I automatically kind of think that way. I'm not saying I'm, like, his genius level or anything like that, but I'm a number cruncher. You know what I mean? Like, I love to crunch numbers sometimes and just kind of figure things out, whatever, the problem is. But, so that part of it, it wasn't a hard sell for me. But when I actually started watching the movie, like, I loved it. I loved their relationship, like him and his wife, kind of how it's rocky at first, and then it just develops into this, they're having fun, dude. They're like teenagers again, you know what I mean? Like, they're guaranteed wins on this lottery game, and they have to go up there and they have to like sit at the machine all day and like play and print ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket. So it becomes like this event that they do together, and it's like their next great adventure in life, it was really cute. I liked it a lot. And Bryan Cranston, I don't know the guy who the story is about, who the movie is about, but just watching Bryan Cranston, like, he nailed it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know who the guy is that he's imitating, but I know Bryan Cranston nailed it. Like, you can hear it in the way even the smallest thing, like the way he says S is not the way Bryan Cranston would say it. It's probably the way the guy who he's playing would say. It's just like he transformed into this other person. It's acting. You know what I mean? It's fucking awesome, dude. But okay, Blackhawks get one back. That was a pretty goal right there. But yeah, dude, I liked it. So, highly recommended. Go check that out. Let's go ahead and have another drink. If you got them drinking, bottoms up. Cheers. All right, and I thought there was a YouTube channel. Oh, dude, it's not even one single channel. I'll tell you guys what I've been stuck on lately. I cannot stop watching it. It's so addictive. But it's basically like these random dudes who have like all these survival skills, and they go out to the middle of nowhere and they build these like fucking elaborate cabins. And I've heard things about these, like once upon a time there was all the ones coming from like, I guess Asia, and there were people just digging into the sand and making these beautiful water fountains and waterfalls and a place to relax that only you knew about. And it was kind of cool, right? And then come to find out they got fucking like tractors and shit waiting off a set to like dig down to make it faster. And, you know, they're using tools. You're not seeing them use tools. You're seeing this guy with a stick like dig into the dirt, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, how is he accomplishing this? Like, sure, I guess obviously he has a lot of time on his hands. You know, obviously he's not working a full-time job doing this. But even still, like, I should have known. Like, even the works that they, you know, create are just like unimaginable. Like, there's no way some dude sat here for a month and a half and made all this beautiful shit. Like, it's too beautiful. So anyways, come to find out, like I said, these are fake. A lot of them are fake. You know, they use tools and they use whatever, modern technology to get such a great aesthetic. And even with that in mind, going into these, quote, survival videos, because that's kind of what they're teaching you too, is like, if you needed to and you're in the middle of nowhere and you didn't have shelter, like, here might be some things you can use, you know what I mean? But even if those are fake, even if the dude, you know, like the Bear Grylls thing, they kind of harped on him about is he's like doing this survivor shit, and then at the end of shooting, he's flying to like a fucking Hilton, you know what I mean? And like getting served shrimp and shit in his room. It's like, no, that's not what I want. He's supposed to be surviving. He should almost be dead right now, you know, not sitting in a robe after his bath eating shrimp, you know? But I don't even care if they're fake, dude. I'm not looking into it. I don't care if they're fake. They're just really fucking cool. And you wouldn't believe, I mean, maybe you would if you've seen what I'm talking about. These structures they come up with, dude, like the chimney, like a cobblestone fucking chimney on a gorgeous wooden cabin that doesn't leak when it rains and has a stove inside for when it gets... Dude, it blows my mind, man. I've got to learn something like that, you know. I am learning a little bit just from watching them, obviously. You know, they're kind of making my brain think a little bit different. Like, I've never thought about using 14 pallets to start the base of my cabin. You know what I mean? Like, they just have great ideas. Or they're just ripping the pallets apart. And they're putting fucking shingles on the roof. It's incredible, man. Like, I don't have that talent, but I really want to maybe work with someone eventually who can show me that kind of stuff. And like, you know, there's so many different ways to start a fire, and it's like, which one is good for you? You know what I mean? I guess you could say any one that works would be a good one, but not everybody uses the same technique. I've seen one guy do it a certain way with a fucking plastic bag, and he blows air through the tunnel he made in the ground. I've seen another guy with like a bow, and he basically has that bow attached to a stick. And as he moves the bow back and forth, that stick twists and like starts the fire if he has it on some drag. Dude, there's just so many ways. So it's like, I kind of want to try all the different techniques. And now I don't want to put myself in danger. I'm definitely the Bear Grylls of this situation. Like, I'm not going out there and risking shit. Trust me, I'm not going out there and risking shit. I just want to learn. You're not leaving my ass out here for even a night. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm definitely going to have a robe on after my shower, eating shrimp in the hotel room. But it's all about the learning experience and actually just doing it over and over. Just like anything in your life, the more I learn the technique that I like, that's the easiest for me to start a fire. And the more I do that, the better I am at it. The more I try to build a shelter, the better I am at it. Dude, I watched this guy dig like... in freezing cold, there's like this tall dead grass, and he just like holed out a circular body shaped thing underneath the grass, stacked more grass on top, and this is like below freezing temperatures, like very low number temperatures, like single digit temperatures. And he like slept out there in his little grass hut he made, and he survived. He was like, this actually really warm. It's like, dude, it's so impressive, man. Like the things you just don't know, or maybe in a panic you don't think about. You're thinking, I'm freezing to death, what do I do? And you end up freezing to death because you're panicking. Oh yeah, this is getting. I gotta change this channel. This is sad now. Penguins 5, Blackhawks 1 is. Yes, they still got the same goalie in there. Let them ride it out. Fuck it. But anyways, that's a little bit of what I've been watching. Go check those out. Let me know what you think. Give me a follow on the YouTube, man. I got the shorts coming out pretty much 6 days a week. The only day I just choose one day a week that I don't put out any shorts, just because it's, I don't work 7 days a week. So yeah, go check me out on Twitter. You'll basically, if you follow me on Twitter, you're basically getting the show notes. Like, I'll go off script sometimes from that. But that's just the easiest for me, dude. I'm watching the games as they happen. I'm tweeting about them. I just go down the list and read it as I'm doing the podcast. So, but yeah, just go check me out on all the platforms. I'd love to hear from you. Let's go ahead and have our last drinks. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for me. As always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a DoorDash. Waymo coming to Dallas, Texas, 2026. I'm so excited for that. I'm definitely hopping in one of those, taking my ass to a bar, having a drink, and hopping my ass in one and coming back home. That's the safest way to do it. Just be safe out there, guys. I want to talk to you next week and many weeks after, so don't do anything stupid. But, I will talk to you then. I love you all. Bye!